Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reviewing the Olitans M060, and boy am I excited about this one. This is a nice medium-sized knife coming in at 7.68 inches overall. It has a 3.35 inch sheep's foot blade in their SLD magic steel. Did a little research. It's a tool steel, similar composition to D2. Should have good wear resistance, and it's supposed to have really good toughness, which is something that D2 can lack. D2 has good impact resistance, but it can get a little chippy. Even though I've had fairly good experiences with D2, I'm very interested to see how this one's going to perform. It's not a stainless, however, it's very close to being a stainless. I've carried this one quite a bit, and I have not had any issues with corrosion yet. You have a laminated blade here. If you don't know what a laminated blade, I'll try to pop up. I think I have a picture kind of showing what it is, but basically you have your core steel that's in the middle, and then you have a jacket that goes over that core steel that's usually a little softer, tougher, and usually has good corrosion resistance. So it's basically like a cover over it, kind of like a sand mine. Another thing that was interesting that I was excited to test on it is that this one, I don't know if you can better tell because of the polish on it, but this one has a convex ground blade. And if you see that little bitty micro bevel, my last experience with a well done convex, it performed great. It's usually a tougher edge. I think this is an attractive looking blade. You have a top swedge that comes down this way. This sharpening choil, it looks like it thickens up to about right here. So almost where that lamination line is right there. You do have a little bit of belly, so it should be pretty versatile. That tip's gonna be great at those utilitarian type, intricate, detailed cutting. But I will be interested to see if that's enough belly to do some cutting on a flat cutting surface. In the pinch grip, I can get almost the entire edge. I can get from about here to here. So I should be able to use it on a flat cutting surface. We'll see that in just a little bit. You have a small row of jimping right here. I call it moderate traction because if you look at the spine, it's got like a brushed satin finish, gives it some contrast. However, this isn't as sharp as it could be. You have dual thumb studs, and they stay out of the cutting path, as you can see, because once you start your cut, it's not like you're going to cut straight up like that. It usually curves, you know, when you're pulling through something. And being that I can no longer freehand since my accident because my dexterity's wonky, sometimes it just depends on the day, but sometimes I can hold it steady again, but it's not that often. So for me, after this video, what I'm going to do to touch this one up, I'm either going to hit it on my Spyderco Sharp Maker, see if that matches their micro bevel. If it does, I will continue to hone it on that. Or if it doesn't, I will take it to my Sharp Pal, I forgot, 14-in-1 maybe, sharpening system with the guided system right here. I absolutely love this thing. I saw my buddy Jared Neves did a video on this as well. I think he likes it too. You have a coarse and fine diamond rod in here. You have your ceramic. You have your smooth leather that I put 3 micron on, and then you have your rougher leather. I think I put 12 micron on that. So this one, you can also set those angles. This is where I would go if the Sharp Maker would not match that angle. I could match it on here. This thing is very inexpensive. I'm about to buy me another one. If I remember, I'll link this down below if you're interested. I also sharpened my recurves on this as well. Your blade stock thickness is coming in at 0.118, and on the site it says these are freehand sharpened, and if that is the case, this thing should perform really well. Let's find out. Very impressive edge from Olitans. Whoever sharpened this thing did a fantastic job. And you know, the more I test these full convex, or this one's like convex with the micro bevel, you know, I start to like them, even though, you know, I still prefer a good hollow grind. I had to throw the while on there because I need it one day, just whenever I don't have a lot of people in the house. I need to just let y'all hear my excitement sometimes, because I go a little bananas because I hate testing knives that just are uncomfortable or just don't slice that well. Now this is where I was like, man, this handle's super comfortable, and it's because it has a little bit extra thickness. It's a neutral handle. They did a great job of softening any of the sharp edges. I was able to get a lot of force, and that, once again, that convex grind, man, it was a wood eater. And look at this, watch this. Did you see that? It's pulverizing that 1/2 inch sisal rope. And every time I start the 1/2 inch sisal rope, the first several cuts, I try to use as little pressure as possible. That way I can see how much bite the knife has and I can see how sharp it is. Now, this one did go through a lot of that glue. You saw me just now messing around with the sisal rope, but I've gotten decent to where I can feel, as long as it's not like at the bottom of the rope, I can usually feel right when I put the edge on it that it feels like a brick. So I'll either cut that section off or I'll bend it up enough to where it breaks up the glue. That doesn't always work though. And I wanted to show that it is a versatile blade. You can do this on a flat surface, but you will see me like that. Put it up now. Look how fast I'm cutting the sisal rope. I cut 2 extra pieces, which I don't ever do, to cut up because this one was performing so well. Look at that. I know it's sped up, but usually you'll see me kind of take a little break in between. The only breaks I'm taking in between is to wipe the sisal rope out of the way because it's piling up so fast. And I only lifted it up on the block just because it makes it a lot easier on me. My blisters are awful on my hands and they're painful. And I do this to help, you know. I'm not testing for edge retention. I'm making sure that whenever I recommend a knife, it's a good quality knife. You'll be happy with it. It performs the way I say it does. And that's why I do it. So I hope y'all enjoy it. And I hope y'all are okay with the way I do things, because this is not Burger King. It's not your way. Is that how it goes? But yeah. That tip, man, that's where it's really going to shine. If you need to do detail cuts, I had to throw a few extra in there because it was slicing so well, like a little scalpel. And nothing, when I say nothing gave this one any trouble, nothing. It glided through every single material effortlessly. And it never slowed down in the least. And if I remember, I'll check the edge after because it feels sharp as it did in the beginning. And all I can say is Olitans has continued to impress me over and over again. I don't know if this thing's so sharp, but it feels incredibly sharp still. Let's just check out that edge after all that cutting. Oh, yeah. Well, if it is similar to D2, they did a really good job on it, because a lot of my D2 knives, especially, you know, overseas D2, a lot of them perform well, but their edges, especially their factory edges, don't tend to last as long. But if they hand sharpen this one, that would make a lot of sense. All right, let's touch on the ergos real quick, which is another highlight portion on this one. So you have a very neutral handle, and I noticed right away that this grip was very, very comfortable. The pocket clip is contoured so it conformed to my palm. No matter which grip I held it in, it's very comfortable. Your average thickness on scales are a 1/2 inch and under. Anything under 1/2 inch is where I noticed that I'm having to grip the knife tighter, which is going to fatigue you a lot quicker because you're trying to keep it from spinning in the hand. Now this one's not super thick or anything, but you have these nice contoured scales and they come in at 0.6. So that little bit definitely does a great job of conforming to the hand, feeling up the palm much better, at least my medium-sized hands. I still got a good bit left over, so large or extra large hands should be able to fit this fairly easy. No hot spots to speak of. Now let's take a look at the deployment in action on this one. The deployment is going to depend on the tension set on these Omega springs. Now I do wish this was an adjustable crossbar lock. However, as long as they got the tension dialed right, I'm good with it. And the tension on mine at least is fantastic. Riding on ceramic cage bearings, giving it a glassy smooth action. Thumb studs are comfortable and I get the perfect amount of grip. Plus, you can see there's a Torx head there. If I ever needed to remove that, say if I'm putting it on my fixed angled system and I want to get those off so I don't come in contact with those because I'm dropping the angle or something, you can remove it. Love when I see that. Or if I want to put different studs there, I can do that easy. The crossbars right here stick out far enough and they are also comfortable enough to where I can easily disengage that. Now let's close it up, take a look at this handle. So you have contoured scales, as you can see there. And I have the green, it looks like a marbled carbon fiber with like a green ceramic powder in there. I don't see any voids. If y'all see some, y'all can let me know. Very, very nice job. If I look up real close, I could see the very faint micro milling whenever they milled this. They knocked off the hard edge right here, so this isn't sharp. And then this side, you have a little bit more of that green than the other side, which is pretty common whenever you see these. And I'm not seeing any voids on this side either. If green's not your thing, but you do like carbon fiber, you can get it with blue or purple. This is just the one they sent me. And if you're not a carbon fiber fan, it also comes in wood, which looks really, really good with this blade, and Ultim. Pretty sure they're all the same price too. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, they did whatever they could to keep the weight down on this one. Your frame is all titanium. You got a bevel going all the way around as well to make it comfortable in hand. You have almost full-length titanium backspacer with a hidden lanyard post in the back right there for the lanyard people. And I thought this was pretty interesting. I can't recall seeing this done before like this. So you wouldn't want to have that crossbar lock housed in titanium because it would start to gall it over time. So if you look in here, they put a stainless steel plate. Hopefully y'all can see that on both sides. That way you're getting the strength of the stainless without making it full stainless liners. And then check that pocketing out that goes all the way to the carbon fiber on both sides, just so they can keep the weight down on this one as much as they can. The balance point, absolute perfection. So this one feels incredibly light in hand and comes in at either 107.5 grams or 3.79 ounces. I thought it carried really nicely. Now, my biggest gripe on this knife, and I'm sure a lot of y'all have already seen it and y'all know what it's going to be, but you have dual thumb studs, an ambidextrous lock. However, your 3D milled, contoured milled tie pocket clip is tip up, right hand carry only. I don't understand why they did that, because this is a straight pocket clip. They could have easily milled that little slot right here and made it reversible. Because you're excluding a part of the market, I don't understand why you'd want to do that. Y'all let them know in the comments, my lefties. If it had left hand carry, would you have bought it? I will definitely direct them to my comments. I'm your biggest advocate. I always say something about it because I like to carry my left pocket as well. I carry 2 knives on me almost every day, and it'd be nice to be able to have a lefty carry in my left pocket. Your lockup, yeah. I gotta say, man, the overseas market absolutely nailed the crossbar lock. A lot of my Benchmades, I can wiggle up and down, slide, but this is the second one that I've checked today that is rock. I mean, when I say rock solid, no movement. Let's check it out. I'd say that's good. Now time for some quick size comparisons. You can see it's smaller than the Olitans T024. It's very similar in overall length to the Olitans G056. And it's very similar in length to the Olitans G031. And it's a good bit bigger than the Olitans G053. It's a decent bit bigger than both the Olitans G057 and the Olitans TO25. Right there in the middle of the Ontario Rat 1 and 2. And lastly, it's just about identical in length to the Kaiser Sheepdog and the Vosteed Leopard. Now, being that absolutely no knife is perfect, what are my nitpicks and complaints? I only have one true complaint on this one, and it's the fact that you have an ambidextrous lock, dual thumb studs, but you don't have a reversible pocket clip. I think that was a big miss. I would definitely like to see that remedied, because why would you want to seclude any part of the market? And you could have people like myself that are natural right-handers that also carry in the left pocket as well. Now, I will just, if I carry this in my left pocket, I'm still going to stick it in the left pocket just like this. But if for some reason that blade got caught, it wouldn't be up against the pocket. It would be open like that. And I know whenever you're flipping it, lefty, for some knives, especially with lock bars, it's nice to have that pocket clip to hold on to. But being that I'm not a natural lefty, it doesn't usually affect me. But other than that, I think they nailed it. You know, they could have made this jimping a little sharper, but I'm not too worried about jimping. So what are my final thoughts? This one comes in at $138, I think, for whatever handle scale options you choose, which is nice because a lot of companies have been charging $10 to $30 more for Ultim scales. Why? I don't know. But I'm pretty certain, if I remember correctly, they're all $138, which is awesome. I think I have a discount code. I'm not certain, but I think I have a 10% discount code. If I do, I'll put it up here if I remember. I think this one performed outstanding. They nailed the action on this one. The ergos, in my opinion, are fantastic. It's a perfectly balanced knife. This one feels very light in hand, easy to maneuver. You need to make some very fine, intricate cuts. It's very easy to do because you have a very precise tip there. It was super slicey and outperformed pretty much every other knife I tested alongside of it that weekend. The edge is still nice and sharp. It's still grabbing skin. Now, after this video, I'm going to strop it first and see how much I can bring it back. And then, once I get it dull enough, I will go ahead and sharpen it. If nothing I talked about, if you're not a lefty and nothing I talked about was a deal breaker for you, I can highly, highly recommend this one. If you are interested in picking one up, I will have it linked down below in the description. If you use my links that help support what I do here on this channel, that helps me pay for my testing materials. If not, no sweat at all. All right, guys and girls, that's going to wrap up today's video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave those down below and I'll do my best to get back with you. I hope every single one of y'all is having a fantastic day today. And remember, keep your blades sharp. Smile more.